Hi, my name is Joan DeSilva, and welcome back to another episode of the My Favorite Parts podcast. I'm here today with the lovely Jordan Keller. Here with us to share all of her favorite parts with us. Jordan, hi. Welcome for being a guest here. I'm so excited to hear your favorite parts today, and I'm sure the audience is too. But before that, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Yeah, first, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to
Mhm.
this all week. Like you said, I'm Jordan S. Keller. I'm an author. I have a science fiction, a superhero romance trilogy out. It's Ashes Over Avalon. It's up here if you're viewing. And I have a new book coming out in May. It's called Failing Gravity, and it's a cyberpunk dystopian novel. I'm so excited to be here and chit chat about all my favorite things. I think passion's super important, and I hope everyone every day can find something that inspires them.
I 100% agree with that too. And something that I didn't want to ask too, because you're an author, what got you into it or made you take that chance?
Yeah, from a super early age, I've always loved stories, storytelling. And in third grade, we had a homework assignment where you had to write a three-paragraph fable. And over the weekend, I came in Monday morning with like 4 pages for my homework assignment that was only supposed to be 3 paragraphs. And I think that's what jump-started the idea of I could put the stories in my head on pages and share them with people. So that was that first taste of it. And ever
Mhm,
since then, through elementary and high school, I would write stories down in
mhm,
like spiral notebooks. And instead of playing recess, I would stay inside in the library and write and read.
mhm,
And it wasn't until college when I realized I could make writing and sharing stories a career by getting a journalism degree. And I went to school in Morehead State University in Eastern Kentucky, where I worked for the newspaper and the radio station.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and just so I got to meet so many people and hear all their stories and share their stories. And when I got out of college and in the real world with my real job during the pandemic, I was writing
Mhm,
for fun again.
mhm.
And after a couple of months, I realized I had 30,000 words to the superhero novel. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wrote a novel. It was not a novel in that first draft. But coming so far, I realized I owed it
Mhm,
to myself and to
mhm.
my hero to give it a chance. And so I took a year. I learned how to write. I rewrote it 2 or 3 times, and I went to publish it with an agent and a publishing house, and that's how we got here.
That's amazing. You
Thank
always
you.
hear of people that have like ideas and stuff like that, but rarely you see people that actually follow through in it. So I'm so happy that you went and did that,
Me too.
and so inspired right now too.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
the the lockdown completely sucked, but it did make me write my novel, so I guess I have to give it a little credit. All
Yeah,
that
there was
extra
a
time.
few things that came from it.
Mhm.
And with that being said, because I know we're going to dive into a little bit more with that in your favorite parts. So, that being said, let's get started. We'll dive right
Yeah.
in. And the first one is going to be the subject that you mentioned, the writing stories.
Mhm.
So, if you want to tell the audience why that's one of your favorite parts.
Yeah, so I think, like looking back subconsciously, why it's one of my favorites is growing up in Kentucky. I grew up on a big farm, bonfires, and people around the bonfire sharing story was a huge thing in my childhood. And I think sharing stories, writing stories, just brings that back to life. Those late summers, sitting around those fires, looking at the
Mhm,
stars, just listening to family and friends recount events and memories. And so it was not only a way to communicate, but a way to share bits of yourself. And so when I'm writing my books, I try to make sure I'm putting little bits of myself into all of them,
mhm,
just in a weird way to pass myself and my memories on to people, but also to make the writing as real as possible. So I think that's subconsciously where it started from the beginning of why I
mhm,
love it so much.
mhm. And with that being said, like, what kind of like satisfaction has that given you? Because it seems like it's a rewarding process that you're going through.
Yeah, it it's really nice because you kind of get to prove that this isn't just a hobby. Like I've done it. It's real. I made it real. It wasn't just a fever dream. And
Mhm.
when I was writing, I didn't tell anyone. Like my closest friends knew, but I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my dad. And so when I got the contract and I was ready to
Mhm.
go, I sat them both down. Like I have something to tell you. My mom thought I was pregnant. I was not, but she was just as excited
Mhm.
about getting a book. Um, so yeah.
Is it and this is going to be a dumb question, but it's more from my
Oh, you're good.
ignorance and stuff like that. When you get the like when you say it's like published and everything, like do they give you like a physical book and stuff like that?
Oh,
And
yeah, not a dumb question at all. Yeah.
okay.
So most publishing houses,
Mhm.
once you sign your contract,
Mhm.
you do all the legal stuff and all the editing stuff,
Mhm.
and then you'll get a box in the mail, and there it is. There's your book.
That's
And
awesome.
Yeah, and then I ordered a bunch of physical stock to sell at like farmers market and book signing
Hmm.
events and stuff, and just getting this huge box full of like
Hmm.
20, 30 copies. It dreamed like I just like
Hmm.
you're holding a book that you wrote with your name on it.
Hmm.
I
And
pinched myself half a dozen times.
yeah, and that was what was going to lead to my question because I wanted to make sure because like, what's that feeling like having your family like get it, like seeing like, oh my God, like my daughter or my sister or my brother or
Yeah,
anybody like somebody wrote this book that I know,
it
like.
it was like I made so many people proud because like you mentioned
Hmm.
so many people want
Hmm.
to write and they don't, or so many
Hmm.
people have a dream and they don't, and so just to show them that I had it and I did it and you can do it. So I feel
Hmm.
like hopefully I've inspired people to chase their dream also.
It is,
Yeah.
and like just from having the small conversation, like I'm starting to get inspired too. So,
Oh, well, I can't
but
wait to read your book.
right, but that's amazing. But in the particular for you, in writing these stories and putting your thoughts and putting them into like letters, having people read them, is there
Mhm.
something in particular that does it for you? That's like, what's your favorite part about it?
It's definitely the part when I realize why I've chosen to write a certain subject. And
Hmm.
it's usually not until like after the book's out and like I've talked enough about it. Failing in Gravity, for example, I started writing it when my dad passed away in a car accident. And I used it as an escape because I wasn't ready to handle that grief, to accept it. And so I kept diving into this world to escape the reality of it, and I made the main character super mean and ruthless and rough because I thought that was the person I had to become to survive that grief. And by the end of the novel, myself and my main character realized that we can still be kind, we can still rely on people, we can still love. Just because we've had this major sad thing happen, it didn't change us completely by the end.
Hmm.
And so it kind of goes back to putting yourself in books. And sometimes you do it subconsciously, sometimes you do it like on purpose. And so that's just really important to realize like, wow, this was very healing for me and
Yeah.
therapeutic.
Yeah, and I think doing anything like that is beautiful that you can get something out of it. And I like the
Mhm.
idea of putting yourself into it too, because
Yeah.
it's kind of plays into the whole leaving a legacy behind.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like at least you know that long when we're gone, something that you have is still going to be there and inspiring people and touching them.
Yeah. That's a great way to think of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's the little
Cool.
things, And but no, that was amazing. Anybody listening, I'm sure probably is going to be inspired from hearing that because you're probably like
Good.
a heir to that. So,
Good. I hope
um,
so.
no, definitely. That does take us to the next subject for your favorite parts, and this one is going to be music. Listening to music,
Yeah.
live shows, and things like that. I am curious to hear that because I'm an avid music lover.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited to hear this. So feel free to tell the audience why it's one of
Yeah.
your favorite parts.
So I feel like growing up, there's never been silence in my life. There's always been
Hmm.
music. There's always been live entertainment. There's always like bluegrass and blues and the Dixie Chicks when I was young. And
Hmm.
then my mom, she introduced me to like 80s hair bands. And then I started finding my own music through
Hmm.
like dad rock, like Papa Roach and Nickelback. And
Hmm.
I kind of got a little rougher with like Asking Alexandria and Devil Wears Prada and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And now like I feel like I listen to every and anything. Like I've got so many playlists, so many genres, and I think the music also has that storytelling element that I'm always chasing. But I there are certain songs and certain albums, and I'll name a few in a second. If I'm just having a really bad day, I'll throw the CD in my car, and to me, it feels like the equivalent of taking the first smoke off a cigarette. Like just that pure endorphin rush, that relax.
Hmm.
The album I'm really jiving with right now is called "The Death of Peace of Mind" by the band Bad Omens. And
Hmm.
when I first listened to it, I felt like this is so silly. I felt like my soul and that album were on the same wavelength, and like it just affected me in such a way that I just started seeing just like peace and like quiet and like this warm sensation. And it just like enveloped me in this big warm hug of sound and atmosphere. And so I feel like I've been chasing that music high
Hmm.
for a while. But
And there's no reason to think that that's like weird or anything because I 100% feel that music gives you a feeling. Like
yeah,
if it doesn't, then you're listening to the wrong music.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say like the first live show I went to, I was so bummed because like we didn't have front row seats and because that was outrageous money. And then I
Hmm.
realized it didn't matter where you sat, you still felt like the bass vibrations in your chest and you still heard the sound as it was meant to
Hmm.
be. And so there's never a bad spot in a
Yeah.
venue as long as you can hear the music.
Yeah, and that's like any genre that you listen to, like whether it's country or whether it's rock or whether it's R&B, rap or anything. They like if you really love music, you listen to it, and the whole thing's just gonna put you in a
Yeah.
yeah. There's a reason why people play music in the gym, you know.
Hmm. Just really
There's a
amps you up.
yeah, it gets you like hype and everything. It gets you like elated. It gets you lifted. So I 100% agree with that. With that being said, is there a particular like album that's done it for you? I know what you're listening to now, or if there's a
Yeah.
concert that you've been to that is like
Oh,
peak.
oh yeah. So one of the oh gosh, favorite concerts. Oh my gosh. Um, I'm a huge fan of seeing Asking Alexandria live,
Hmm.
just because like usually in my day to day I'm a super cheerful, happy girl, and
Hmm.
at those kind of shows I'm able to be a little more aggressive and be a little more like angry in a way. And their
Hmm.
mosh pits are some of my favorites because
Hmm.
everyone's not so rough. If you get knocked down, you get pulled right back up.
Hmm.
And I got to see them at Louder Than Life last year, and a song that they hadn't played, they retired essentially. They played it live
Hmm.
again, and I got my head rung by someone else. Like I collapsed in the dirt. I got like busted knees from the gravel,
Hmm.
and but all of this song I hadn't heard in like 10 years, and
Hmm.
so that's always up there. And then
But that rush
oh,
must have been exciting though.
oh my gosh, yeah, like I didn't. I
Hmm.
walked out of there not
Hmm.
realizing my knees were bleeding and I had a bruise coming up on my arm. But yeah, and then there's a band called Dance Gavin Dance, and
Hmm.
they're not a band I go to often. Oh, I enjoy them, but they're not always one of my first picks. But they put on the best live show, so I love seeing them. And then, what other? Like every show is great in my mind.
Hmm.
The hair bands with my mom; those are so much fun because she makes them so much fun.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I going to like concerts and stuff like that. I find like the best way to like judge them is by their like the production and stuff they do. So if
Oh yeah.
they're killing it, or if they sound exactly like they do on the album,
Mhm.
that's another way that I judge them. But like I saw Vampire Weekend last year, and they were like amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who
So
are some
it
of
was
your other
good.
favorite bands?
I really want to
Or
see them.
yeah.
I really want to see them this year when they come, but I know the tickets are like super expensive. But I want to see My Chemical Romance.
Oh yeah. I feel like like everyone's bucket list item. Like you have to.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be like top tier and everything.
Hmm.
But that Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to too much like hard rock, but I'll listen to anything at least once.
Cool. I've
Yeah.
been diving more into like 90s country too, like some Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, Keith
Hmm.
Urban. That's sort of been my jam the last like week and a half.
Oh yeah, the oldies are goodies.
Hmm.
Always.
Always.
Never
Never go out of
forget.
style. No. I tried learning to play the piano in
Hmm.
elementary school or in high school, I guess, because I thought, well, I love music. I should learn to play it.
Hmm.
And my instructor said, Jordan, you've got drunk fingers. I will continue to teach you, but you're not going to get any better. Um, so that ended my music career. And now I just play the stereo and hijack the AUX cord on long car rides.
Same. I'm usually the DJ on car rides, and if it makes you feel better, I tried learning the acoustic guitar before. There was a DVD that my dad had with the guitar that came with the guitar that's supposed to teach you how to play. I went and I started it and I got excited, and the first part is like tuning the guitar. And I gave up because I got so upset that I couldn't get the guitar to sound
Ooh.
like the tuning on the TV. And
Yeah.
now that I'm older, I'm like, it's not gonna sound like it. You know,
No.
I'm comparing it to like a TV, but
Mhm.
maybe
Oh,
one day I'll
so
go back.
silly. Right.
Yeah,
We'll start a band.
yeah, absolutely. I played enough Guitar Hero to last a lifetime. So
Yeah. Oh, great. I was always on the Drum Hero version, so on
really,
the Rock
yeah,
Band. Yeah.
I used to play bass.
Ooh, we're halfway
So
there.
right, and you got the writing skills, so we'll
Right,
knock it
we'll
out
just
after that.
we just need a good singer.
Yeah, oh, I can sing. So
Oh, all right, two-man band. Here we go.
absolutely, we got this. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm sure any music lover is gonna love those responses and stuff because I know I loved it myself.
Oh.
That does take us to your last favorite part, which is going to be eating with friends, trying new
Yeah.
experiences. It seems
I
like some of the subjects are a lot interactive.
yeah, our I food is such an experience, and like
Hmm.
I'll horf it down. I'm trying to be better about that and really enjoy each bite. But if there's a restaurant that's got like some sort of, I don't want to say entertainment, but some sort of like involvement factor,
Hmm.
they're my favorite. So in our local area of Cincinnati, we've got the Melting Pot, which is a fondue restaurant, and so
Hmm.
you'll get this tray of like veggies and meats and breads and a huge vat of cheese on the table, and everyone shares it. And you've got little cook times, so you're not
Uh-huh.
like overcooking. Oh yeah, but like cheese appetizer, a broth for dinner for your meats, and then some sort of melted marshmallow or chocolate for dessert.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we've got a Korean barbecue with the grill in the middle of the table. And when we go, we'll just get the tower of meat and some veggies, and we'll be there for hours. We love take. I say we, me and my husband. We love
Hmm.
taking our out of town friends there. That's always a huge hit. And then we've got a dumpling place, a dim sum, where on the weekends they'll bring the carts around with all the steam pots.
Hmm.
Those are my favorites. And then, of course, like any non-American cuisine is always the top of the list to try. So like curries and authentic Mexican restaurants and Chinese buffets. And we just got a new a Lebanese restaurant just opened up.
Hmm.
So I'm excited to try that. And I think, yeah, I feel like a broken record. Like it all comes back down to those storytelling, community moments, and to me, like being sitting around a table with everyone with all your phones
Hmm.
put away, no distractions. You just have that opportunity to reconnect and share stories and figure out like what's been going on in other people's lives that you might have not seen for a year or so. um, so I think that's
I
why I associate that with food.
Yeah, I think that well, one, I live in Seattle, so there's like a whole like huge like Asian community.
Ooh,
So we got like the Korean barbecues and like the hot pots and
yeah,
stuff. And
yum.
I 100% agree with what you're saying. Like just you can go and just have a meal, but why not like help each other? Like
Yeah.
somebody take this job, somebody take this job. Like
Mhm.
soak these vegetables, Bob. Like you know.
Really sauce
So
them up.
yeah. And like I get excited like cooking like the meats and stuff, but it gives like a little bit of like activity to it.
Yeah, you're not just like, I feel like those make the best first date spots because you're
Hmm.
not just staring
Hmm.
awkwardly across the table at each other and waiting. And yeah,
I would have never thought about that. That's actually really cool because
yeah,
like it kind of builds that like teamwork.
yeah. You get to like, all right,
Hmm.
how good can I work with this person? And
Hmm. Or how
so
good can
yeah,
they cook? Like
testing those waters early.
yeah. With that being said, out of all these restaurants and like the food that you mentioned, is there like a particular cuisine that is like that does it for
Oh,
you?
I love Asian cuisine, and I'm such a wuss when it comes to spicy food. But I'll see like
Same.
the three peppered ones, like I want to eat that so bad, but I know I'll cry. Oh,
I
there's
feel
a
bad for getting that look from the when they're taking your order, like how spicy, you say none, and they just give you the.
I'm a 2 out of 10 for curry, and we'll go with friends, and they're like 8, 7, 6. Like,
Mhm.
just bring me a glass of milk with mine. Oh my gosh! But
Mhm.
there's a restaurant near us that has like a Szechuan duck special, and
Mhm.
every year I'm like, this is the year I'm gonna eat like spicy hot wings throughout the year and prepare for it. And I never get above a mild. Like lemon pepper is about as high as I go. Uh, oh,
Same.
I wish I liked
Same.
spicy food.
Like usually, if I have like buffalo wings, I have to have like either the wing or like blue cheese or something like that,
Hmm.
or it has to be like mixed with a different sauce, like something to like bring it down.
Yeah, cut it a
Yeah.
little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
I've been obsessed with Buffalo Wild Wings, their lemon pepper, and then their Korean barbecue. And like, I'll chase the Korean with the lemon pepper. Like, it kind of, yeah. Oh my
It
gosh,
levels
they
out.
hate to see me coming. Yep.
Yeah. They were like, "Oh, it's her."
Oh, the baby.
That's awesome. But no, a similar taste with like spices and like the Asian food and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
any cuisine is good cuisine.
Yeah. There hasn't.
Mhm.
Oh, I say that I'm not a big fan of mushrooms, but otherwise, there's never been a food I haven't liked.
Is it a texture thing?
I think so because like I'll see
Yeah.
them all baked up and stuff. Like
Hmm.
that sounds awesome,
Hmm.
and that first like bottom teeth touches bottom mushroom cap. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
So,
Trust me, I know a lot of people that feel the same way. I have a
oh,
cousin that is deathly afraid of onions and stuff for whatever reason. So
ooh,
yeah.
I just need to grow up and get over it and just eat them.
At there's time and there's lots of food out there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll just move it further down on the list.
absolutely. And that does conclude your last favorite part. All of them
Mhm.
amazing and stuff, and I'm sure the audience would agree. So I appreciate you sharing
Thank
all
you.
of that with us. Next up, before we go into your five senses, we'll do something called the favorite part of the week. So if
Mhm.
there's anything that you might have seen that has been going on, or anything you want to highlight that's going on in the world, feel free to talk about it. If not, I can do one too.
Yeah. While recording, it's Monday, so the week's still pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
But at my day job, I work in property management, and one of our buildings had a gas leak today, and we fixed it, thank goodness. But the crew that came out to help, they were so nice and polite, and it's just really reassuring to meet people who still share that nicety and that kindness. And I'm always really nosy, so when they were in there in the piping looking around, I got to be down there too, and I learned some things. There's certain angles that gas piping needs to be at to make sure it flows. And so that was really cool to learn.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
even know that.
right. Yeah. Same. I
Yeah.
just thought like, get it out.
That's
Um,
amazing. And we talked about this before we started recording, but I work in property management too, so I know that
mhm.
stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I wish I did that.
Yeah. Oh, I, I wish I did so much more like technical things. Like I wish I knew more about plumbing. I knew about HVAC. I knew about just because it, if I could save the day like they're saving the day, I would feel
Hmm.
so cool. Like, oh, you need to rewire your HVAC wiring.
Hmm.
Like, I got you. We don't need to call anyone.
Yeah. Watch out. Let me get my tool belt.
Right? Yeah. My one screwdriver isn't going to cut this. Let me call a
Yeah.
professional.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But no, but that's a great thing to look at, and it's relevant to me too. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Of course.
Um, I do have one too that I'll mention in case anybody's interested in it. Have you heard about an app called Time Left?
I just saw someone talking about it on my Facebook, but
Really?
please go more in detail. Yeah, they were kind
Okay.
of vague about it.
Yeah, and I swear to God, this is not an ad. Like I am not that big, but I happened to like try it this past week, and it was actually pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, I went like, and basically, if anybody doesn't know, you go on the app and you can schedule like a day for dinner. Like it's usually like a Wednesday, and you sign up for it. You pay like $15 to attend the dinner, and they send you to dinner with like people that you don't know at all.
Oh, how? Oh,
And yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
go
I
ahead. Sorry.
went. No, I went, and I was like, I was kind of scared at the beginning. I was like, oh, how's this gonna be? Because they don't tell you anything at the beginning. You find out only like what type of jobs they do and their ethnicities the day before. So you don't
Hmm.
even know names, you don't know pictures. You find out what restaurant you're going to the morning of,
Hmm.
and then you go to dinner later that day, and you just sit with people that you don't know and try to make conversation.
I imagine like because everyone's there with the same idea to make conversation, so I bet
Hmm.
that flows really easy and a lot. I
Yeah.
bet you hear so many cool stories.
Yeah, it was surprising how well everybody did with like the conversation and stuff like that, and everybody just had dinner and talked, and we ended up staying till the place closed down, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was pretty wicked.
Do you think you'll
So
do it like a weekly thing or something? Or
it does give you the option to like subscribe and do it per week. I will
Mhm.
do it again. I just think maybe I'll do it like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun!
So
We'll have to give this a try. That sounds like a lot of fun.
yeah, it's crazy playing Russian roulette with like dinner.
And strangers.
Yeah, but it was cool because everybody was there looking for it was like for friends and stuff, or just in town and wanted to do something random. So yeah, so
Ooh, how
anybody that
fun.
wants to try something like that, give it a shot.
And you said you weren't sponsored, but is there a code we could use to get a discount with you?
Not with me.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't. Yeah, I am sure like when you go on the app, or if you're on Instagram, they always have like ads on Instagram, and they usually have
Ooh.
like a code for like 50% off the dinner or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No. So give it a shot. Anybody out there? And now we'll go into Jordan's five senses. So, Jordan, if you're not aware, for any audience members that aren't aware, I'll ask you about your five senses. And what we're looking for is what's your favorite of each.
Hmm.
S- So, your favorite sense, I mean, your favorite sight, your favorite touch, your favorite taste. So, I usually just ask before, is there one you want to start off with, or you want me to just random it
Oh,
for you?
we can start with scent because I've been thinking about this last couple of days. I'm like, I love this
Hmm.
scent. Oh, but I really love this one too. And I think I narrowed it
Ooh.
down. I can give my some honorable mentions. I really love the scent of like lemon and like lemon scented cleaners and stuff.
Hmm.
I really love super like musty candles. So if it's like
Hmm.
sunflower and lavender musk, like put it in the cart. I love it. But I think my number one favorite scent is magnolias. Where we
Really?
live at, yeah, our street is lined with these beautiful pink magnolia trees, and when they
Hmm.
bloom, it is so amazing. We've got one in our backyard, and I'll clip the petals and make
Hmm.
little potpourri dishes around the house. And something just, I don't know if it's just like that springtime feeling. You only really smell it during the spring, but I look forward to it every year. And the magnolia scent, I think, is my favorite scent.
It makes me want to kind of look that up now, or like buy a candle now.
Yeah, it's just super like
Hmm.
refreshing with a little
Hmm.
undertone of sweetness. Yeah, I just oh, it's great. It's not like overpowering like some flowers can be.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I like that. I like that it's a different flower than what I usually hear about. So
it's not
yeah,
your roses or your
yeah,
daffodils or
yeah.
yeah.
And then on top of that too, I agree with the whole lemon thing. Lemon is peak.
Yeah, especially in the kitchen. Like,
Hmm.
ooh, I love it.
Yeah. Oh man, I kind of want to mop a floor now.
You can mop mine. There's so
Yeah.
we had a bunch of rain and I had dog prints all over.
Oh
Uh,
wow. That does do it for your scent. Do you
mhm.
want to hit the next one?
Yeah, so we can do sight, and this one was so easy in comparison.
Hmm.
I love sunsets, sunrises,
Hmm.
just the sky. So like super pretty clouds with like the pinks and the oranges, or really getting into like late nights, those dark navies and blues. And I'm definitely one of those like space girls. Like I just want to look at the
Hmm.
sky all day long. The bigger the sun, the better. I love those
Hmm.
like empty or not empty, but those vast blue skies with no clouds. So definitely like sunsets and sunrises. If there's some sort of water involved with it, takes it
Hmm.
over the edge for me. So
Yeah, absolutely. Like at the beach or like
yeah,
yeah.
over a lake or oh.
Yeah, I agree with that because like clear sky is like one of mine's. Whether it's like
Ooh.
nighttime or daytime,
Yeah,
it's just something weird about just like looking up and just seeing how big everything is. You know?
yes. It's like it. Whatever I was worrying about that day is like so insignificant compared
Hmm.
to what's up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I 100% agree with that. So that'll do it for your site. What we got next?
We can do taste. This one came down to a tie. I have such a big sweet tooth for like chocolate chip cookies or dark chocolate. But in the past year, I've fallen in love with truffle, which makes no sense because I don't like
Ooh.
mushrooms.
Hmm.
But like, if you can give me a truffle fry or like
Hmm.
truffle pasta, or like we've got a little hot sauce with truffle in it, and like I'll be brave and I'll eat that. But so either like a dark chocolate or a truffle.
Do you mind me asking the brand
Yeah.
of this hot
Um,
sauce? Because I swear I think that's the one my brother gets. It's like in a
it's
black bottle.
yeah, with a red. Ours has a red top on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I think. Oh God, I can't.
It's
Yeah,
there's
he.
like a lady on the face of it.
Hmm.
It's got four chili flake or peppers on it for the spice level.
Yeah, he
Uh,
gets it like religiously.
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut in. But
no, no, you're good.
do truffle on.
Truffle's so good. It's a brand called Truff, just Truff, and they
Hmm.
make a truffle oil, and I'll cook anything in that, and just like toss salad with it, or do some like carrots on the side and dip it in, stir it into hummus. So that's really tasty.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I know it's a lot of restaurants are using it now too, and like
Hmm.
pasta and everything like that.
Yeah. We'll walk in and I'll smell it. Like that's what I'm getting. I don't need the menu. Just whatever whatever walk by.
First thing you look for is something that starts with a T.
Right.
Yeah. Um, the funny thing about truffles is that like how the way that they find them and stuff, like they have like
Yeah, the
dogs
truffle
and pigs
pigs.
that yeah,
Mhm. Well,
that's insane.
I think if I knew what it looked like before it went in the food, maybe my
Hmm.
brain would like, you don't want to eat that. Put that down. But it's so
Yeah, maybe
tasty.
like when they come to shave it at the table, you probably just close your eyes and
Right. Just shave it all, but don't show me.
yeah. That's an awesome taste. What we got up next? I think
Oh,
we have leftover sound and
yeah,
touch.
sound and touch. Yep. So
Yeah.
for touch, my favorite fabric is cashmere, and I've got one cashmere sweater, and I think
Hmm.
like I just hold it more often than I wear it because I'm so scared to damage it. But just that soft, warm feeling.
Hmm.
And then I'm a big dog girl, and so I've got a yellow lab at home, and I love
Hmm.
running my hands through his hair and like the scruff of his neck, and just super like just calm, relaxing. Especially
Hmm.
he's like 70 pounds. He's always in my lap, and just to feel him there. I just really
So
enjoy that sensation.
so it's more like that fluffy feeling, like on your
Yeah.
fingers or something. Yeah.
Yep. So a little coarser with the dog and a little softer with that
Yeah.
cashmere sweater.
Yeah, that'll do it because I agree. I've had somebody else mention something similar, and it's like a calming thing for them, and it just feels like
Yeah.
warm and cozy.
Yep. Just pure relaxation.
Hmm. And you got one more left.
Yep. Sound easy peasy rock and roll music.
Hmm.
Especially Bad Omens right now. I have tried working in silence, like at home in the office, and
Hmm.
it just feels so uncomfortable. So I always have to have music playing. So those steely guitars or that
Hmm.
fast bass rhythm, the double snare drums.
Hmm.
So
And I agree because same thing. I can't have it like silent. So I always have like either a TV going or like even music and stuff going.
mhm.
Is there a particular way that you like to consume your music? Like whether it's like headphones or it's listening in the
Yeah,
house or anything?
I love loudspeakers throughout the house. So I've
Hmm.
got like three different Alexas, and there's one like upstairs, one in the kitchen, one in our
Hmm.
front house, and like when they're all playing the same song together, I just think that's so cool. I'm starting to splurge on headphones. I used to just get whatever was
Hmm.
cheapest at the dollar store, and I've come to realize splurge on the headphones. It's so much nicer. You can really
Hmm.
hear all the layers.
Hmm.
But I think ultimately the best way to consume music is to consume it live and listening to those live musicians, or even just really nice cover bands at a bar,
Hmm.
just to feel those vibrations in your chest. I think that's what I'm always after.
I think that's a great way to look at that. I agree with the headphones. Usually you can just do it and just listen to stuff, but when you get some like really good headphones, sometimes you'll be like, I didn't hear that before.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah.
and it's so crazy that like how much stuff that like like music artists that they'll actually put into the song that we don't even notice and stuff,
Mhm.
and I think that's the coolest thing about some music sometimes is those little
Yeah.
parts of it. Yeah.
Or I, one of the Bad Omen songs,
Hmm.
they reference a Sprite can opening, and like so that
Hmm.
is in
Hmm.
one of their songs, and I never heard that until I put on these nice headphones. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's that noise?
Hmm.
And through a bunch of interviews and stuff, I figured it out. But like, I never would have known.
Yeah. So I usually don't tell people to like spend a lot of money, but some really good headphones, they'll change your world.
Yeah, yeah, and if you get a good pair, like they're gonna last you a couple years,
Yeah.
so it's a well investment.
Yeah, absolutely. I recommend that to anybody. Also the concerts too, because there's nothing
Yeah.
like getting that experience.
I love being with people for their first concert, and like
Hmm.
as I'm getting older, it that's less likely because people have been to shows and stuff. But
Hmm.
like just to see their face get all like, and like for them to hear their favorite song live, and
Hmm.
just to see like that magic in their eye, it's
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's
Yeah,
such a healing thing.
it is, and you the artists don't know as much as we want to complain sometimes they don't know what they do for us and like some of
Right,
the audience members and stuff like that, so they can change somebody's life,
for sure.
hmm like
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's weird sometimes seeing those people like cry at a concert, but at the same time we're
Until you're
like
one
I
of
have no
them.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like at the same time we don't know what that person might have went through or what that song got them through or anything like that,
Yeah.
so so
I'm right.
music
I'm
is
in that
beautiful.
boat for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, I
absolutely.
love
Well,
it.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's your five senses. Killed
Yep.
all of them.
Thank you. Thank you. I put a lot of thought into them.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you doing that. I'm sure the audience appreciates it too. That does leave us with our last question for you. And that's going to be your proud moment. So, in this case, is there anything that you've done recently that you're proud of, or just in general that you're proud of?
Yeah, so before this morning, or before last week rather, my proud moment was going to be releasing Failing Gravity. It comes out May 6th, just because
Hmm.
like this was my fourth book. I really felt like I figured out how to write and stuff. But over the weekend, I just signed a contract for another book that it's probably like 2 years in the making.
Hmm.
But when I sent it out to my agent to be published, I didn't think it was going to go anywhere because it was really different from what I write and what she
Hmm.
sells, and so just to have someone like, oh no, this sounds great, let's work something out for it. So that was just, it made me realize that I'm on the right track with the writing,
Hmm.
and I was just super proud that these two characters are going to be, that people are going to meet them and they're going to be out in the world. So
I think that is something to be very proud of. Uh, since you brought that up, I am curious to ask, just because
yeah.
like one of the podcast is like super like small and stuff like that. But it's weird that I get the feeling I get when somebody tells me, "Hey, I listened to your episode and it was pretty good," and I was like, "Oh my god!" So for you in your case, like, how is that getting like feedback from people?
Yeah, it's I say like, oh my gosh, like friends
Mm-hmm,
will figure out I write and they'll buy the book and they'll tell me they
mm-hmm,
read it and like I'll just start tearing up like, oh my gosh, you
mm-hmm,
didn't have to do that. Like I'm like, no, 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 it was really good. We liked it. And so it's just like it's just huge. Like it almost squeezes my heart a little. Like
mm-hmm,
oh, because then I
mm-hmm,
start second guessing like, oh my gosh, was
mm-hmm,
there anything in there I should be embarrassed about?
mm-hmm,
And of course there shouldn't be.
mm-hmm.
And just have it's like friends are super cool to hear they read your book and they liked it, and then when strangers start telling you, it's like, oh my gosh, okay, this person definitely wouldn't lie to me just to be nice. So it's just that little nudge that you're in the right direction and that
Yeah,
people are appreciating what you're doing.
that reinforcement and everything, because
Reinforcement, yeah,
yeah, because I'm sure in any process or any creative process, there's always those moments where people are going to be like, "Am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right way?" And then
yeah,
just getting that satisfaction at the end by just getting that. People don't know like how big of a difference just saying that one thing, like saying, "Hey, I listened,"
yeah.
or say, "Hey, I liked it," does for somebody.
And we yeah, and like sorry, 100% when like the first time a stranger, because it was a book signing and they had
Mm-hmm,
come to bring their book for me to sign, it wasn't like they had discovered me there, but that
mm-hmm,
first time, and they were talking about how they were wanting to write a book, and then
mm-hmm,
they were reading mine and they were like watching my Instagram to figure out sort of what I was doing, and just to not realizing how much help you might be giving to someone else, uh just yeah, just by accident. And
yeah,
so I always try to make sure like whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm posting, like let's make sure this is as helpful as it can be, and
mm-hmm,
not just to like advertise my upcoming book, but maybe someone can learn from it with like a turn of a phrase or
mm-hmm.
how I made my little Instagram picture. Or
Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny how to think of some of that stuff, like transferring like energy, like positive energy to people,
yeah,
like
yeah.
something so small, but what somebody gets out of it.
Mhm. And
So.
I like that you mentioned the positive energy thing, because I feel like attracts like, and so
Mm-hmm,
if you're a positive person doing this positive thing, you're gonna start bringing more positivity into your circle, and
mm-hmm.
new doors will open, and you're gonna make so many more connections. And yeah,
Yeah, it's why be negative all the time? I mean, I know
yeah,
life is like hard and stuff like that, but if we can make it easier for other people, why not?
exact.
So,
Because and I mean, you touched on it too. We have no idea what other people
mhm,
are going through. Like
mhm.
if you're like just a please and a thank you to someone might change their whole outlook for the day. And
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah,
we can all
honestly,
be superheroes.
yeah, absolutely. There's, we don't have to wear a cape.
Right.
Just give me
Just
a
start prop
blanket. Let me strap it on, and yeah,
and tie it around, and we'll be good
yeah,
to go.
and start flying. But that's amazing, and one for on behalf of everybody, I appreciate you doing what you're
Yeah.
doing. It seems like you're really doing a great thing and trying to help people out. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you. And thank you for having me
and
on your show.
no, thank you for being on. I appreciate it. That does lead us to the end of the show, though, and we do appreciate your proud moment. But with that being said, is there anything else that you want to like promote? If you want to highlight anything you want to say to the
Yeah.
audience?
I'd love to throw out again my upcoming novel. It's called Failing Gravity. It releases May
Hmm.
6th. Pre-order are available now through Amazon and Barnes and Noble. You can pre-order the paperback or the ebook. If you do the pre-order, you do save $2 in the long run. But the novel, like I mentioned before, it's very important to me. It helped me grieve the loss of my father. And I hope if anyone else is struggling with a grieving moment where they think they have to be so cold to the world, they're able to find kindness and friendship again, and that they can let that energy back in. So Failing Gravity, May 6th. I'm Jordan S. Keller. I wrote these superhero books in the back as well. So
That's awesome, and I'll make sure I get the information from you so we can put a link for the
oh,
books also
thank
for
you.
everybody. So we'll do that. And make sure you guys check out Jordan. Is there anything that should be following you on like social
Oh,
media or anything?
yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's all under Jordan S. Keller, author. And that's Keller.
Awesome. We'll make sure we get that on there for you too.
Thank
And
you so
again,
much.
Jordan, I appreciate you being here. To the audience, I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you for joining us with another episode. We'll catch you guys on the next one, and I hope everybody has a great day. Peace.
Bye.